Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me for this speaker spotlight. I am Jason Senimore, the Chief Product Officer at SINC USA. I'm delighted to be joined today by trusted SINC partner, author, advisor, and general all-round expert, Mr. Isaac Sacolick, the CEO and founder of StarCIO. Isaac is going to be joining us at the upcoming Midmarket IT and Security Leaders Virtual Forum taking place from September 14th through to the 17th. And Isaac is going to be covering a session there around the use of artificial intelligence in the mid-market space. So Isaac, before we kind of dive into the session and provide folks a little bit of a sneak peek as to what you intend to cover, we'd love to start by just getting a bit of a general overview from you on the state of AI adoption in the mid-market space, and I suppose what some of those immediate challenges people have been experiencing are.
Yeah, Jason, great question. Looking forward to this conference, probably more than others. I mean, I do a lot of work in mid-market, and mid-market is got to play a different game to be successful with data and technology, and particularly when we get into emerging technologies like artificial intelligence. You're not Google, you're not Netflix, you don't have, deep pockets, you don't have wide breadth of skills, and you got to pick your battles in terms of where to make investments and where to really be innovative and smart. And so, you get a lot of interesting best practices when you talk to other mid-market CIOs and CISOs about things that work, things that are practical, things that can be done efficiently. And so that's really the heart of what I hope to talk and bring out in September is, how do we think about data in particular? How do we have our data ready for doing experimentation on? I think that's very important for mid-market to, have the right places where your data is being stored, to have the right catalogs, what data is available, to have the right discussions with the business leaders about where AI and machine learning in particular can have impacts. To have dialogues over, what are some easy things to go after? There's certain areas of machine learning that I think are far more accessible to mainstream enterprises and mid-market enterprises than others. So you have to have an idea of what's the art of the possible in the world that you live in, and the budgets and the talent that you live in, and being able to take something and iterate on it fast enough, but be able to actually get the value out of it fast enough. And that's, I think, the heart of trying to use technology, data, artificial intelligence in mid-market companies.
That's great. Obviously, the session is designed to be a bit more interactive between speaker and audience by creating this open Q&A, essentially allowing all the attendees to ask you anything that might be on their mind when it comes to future plans around AI implementation or existing challenges they're experiencing along their AI journey. Question for you would be, what do you want the attendees to bring to that session? What do you want them to come prepared with to make sure that they get the most out of it?
I would say two things. First is, form your question or your ideas also around places where you're having some success and you want some ideas of what to do next with things. I think that's doubly beneficial. It's obviously beneficial for you because I can provide some advice around that. It's also beneficial for the audience. You'd be surprised. You're going to be ahead of the audience in some places, and just sharing your experience. Hey, we went and procured a data streaming technology so that we can bring our sensor devices into a private cloud environment and be ready to go do machine learning on it. You're going to be ahead of companies in the manufacturing space if you could actually talk about what you just did and the platforms and some of the things that you had some trouble with, and I can actually help with that. Questions on where to start is a lot where I get a lot of people asking me, how do I bring reality to my executive group in terms of what's real versus hype in machine learning. Questions about what to do with different data problems or data challenges, how to bring stakeholders to the discussion and getting the right business cases discussed. And then just, I mentioned there's different algorithms. If you're going to try to go do deep learning on petabytes worth of real-time data with one data scientist, that's going to be a little bit of a struggle to get some value out of it. But if you want to talk about natural language processing or recommendation engines, things like that, there's lots of very mature areas, and I can provide some advice around those. So I think pretty broad, business cases, how to get things started, how to get the mindset around, and what's realistic for a mid-market company to go after. Some of the things I would think about.
Great. And for those folks who have the benefit of attending your session, ultimately, what do you want them to be able to take away from that and be able to go and do?
Look, I'm an action-oriented person. There's plenty of places, including my own stuff. You can go read, you can go learn. All that's very important. But, I hope whenever somebody sees me speak or run a panel or answer questions, take away a couple things that you could say, you know what, I'm going to actually go put this to action. I'm going to think about something new that I haven't done with my data, or a new way to ask a question of a stakeholder to get a business case, or some way out of a problem that you didn't have. And quite frankly, I actually hope you guys stump me too. There's going to be questions I don't know the answer of, and I make the commitment when I don't know the answer to something, I'll go research for you. So another reason to show up to my panel and show up to the SINC event, and you get a free analyst call when you actually ask a question to me.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Isaac. Very much looking forward to that session. For those of you who are already registered for the forum itself, be sure to save your seat for that open Q&A. For those who are interested in joining the conference, please submit a registration request on the landing page for the forum itself here. And we look forward to hosting and welcoming fantastic audience of IT and security leaders across the country in this mid-market space, and tackling some of these challenges that Isaac has raised today. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks, SINC.
Cheers.